So my friend over there in Grenada, the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell, is facing a political nightmare. Like, how do you say no to the American government with this radar system at the Maurice Bishop International Airport? And he's also been questioned about his recent travel abroad. He's the most traveled Prime Minister in the Caribbean. And as I said, the young Prime Minister, the youngest Prime Minister within CARICOM, and he's facing a big nightmare. I believe that this is one of the biggest challenge of any Prime Minister right now in the Caribbean that he's facing, because he has to balance what the American government, the repercussions like of saying no. So it is a very difficult situation that he's in, and I would not want to be in that position. So those two topics are what we want to take a look into today. The Prime Minister of Grenada, the radar system. The people are still waiting to hear from the Prime Minister, and now the Prime Minister has been questioned about the amount of travel that he's doing, especially in Africa. Let's talk about it. Yes, so at the end of last week, the opposition leader was faced with questions by the media asking her why not say more about this radar system, the military radar system at the Maurice Bishop Airport. And the opposition leader pushed back and said, look, the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell, knew about this for months and is just revealing it to the Grenadian people. And if the Prime Minister is keeping this thing tight-lipped, what can the opposition say about it? So this is what the opposition leader of Grenada had to say in that interview.
August to now, not even the Prime Minister has made a statement on this. I mean, a serious statement. So what is the opposition saying? We just don't know. We have no clue. So we are waiting to hear what the government has to say on this. What is the information? What are the facts? You can't make no informed decision or take no informed position. If you don't know, you'll be foolish to do that. You'll be irresponsible to do this. And so we await, just like everyone else.
Pierre also expressed concern over the apparent lack of transparency regarding the request, despite Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell revealing during a recent podcast that the proposal was first made in August.
You can imagine this, or try to imagine this. There's a serious request like that was made in August. We are now in October. There has been no engagement of parliamentarians who are not part of the cabinet. And I'm not just talking about members of our team. You have independent senators in the parliament. You have stakeholders. Where is the social partners? So the issue is, on a critical matter like this, where are the social partners? These decisions are not decisions just for government to make.
The opposition leader further lamented the absence of public consultation on the issue, stressing that Grenadians should be allowed to air their views before any decision is finalized.
We have absolutely no information on this. We are not privy. We know. For months, the government and the U.S. government have been in dialogue. There have been many conversations, even resulting in one minister losing his visa. But no, these things are indeed top secrets in this country, and it's so unfortunate. If we want to advance this country, we have to take a different approach. It cannot be that you have a government that fails to engage and consult and operate in a democratic way.
Meanwhile, the Grenada Coalition of a Zone of Peace held a peaceful protest last Friday, urging the government to reject any U.S. request for the establishment of military installations on the island. The group emphasized the importance of preserving Grenada's sovereignty and maintaining its long-standing position as a peaceful, non-aligned nation.
Yes, so that was the opposition leader, and I have to give the opposition leader some credit, because in most cases, especially in the Caribbean, once the opposition finds something to jump on that is going to discredit the government and give the opposition more mileage, opposition normally pounce and jump on that issue. And this is something that we haven't seen the opposition party like go in too hard on. And when this story first came out, one thing I said is that I hope that the opposition would work with the government and not try to take political mileage from this situation because it's very sensitive. One wrong move and everyone in Grenada would suffer from this move. So I'm happy that the opposition leader, the opposition party, I'm happy that they took the approach that they're taking and not trying to capitalize on it politically. But right now, I think Dickon Mitchell, the Prime Minister, is going to have to come out and address this very soon, like this week, because I think the longer it takes to address it, I think this is going to do more damage to him politically, and that is just my opinion. But sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this one. What do you think the Prime Minister should do? Do you think the Prime Minister have to come out this week? Do you think there's a deadline when the Prime Minister should be coming out and addressing the nation and getting the people of Grenada involved in this conversation about this military radar system? Let me know in the comment section. And the next thing is the Prime Minister is being questioned about his travel abroad. I know when this radar system thing came up, he was in Ghana, a state visit in one of the local towns in Ghana. We know that the Prime Minister, his ancestry is from Ghana and he has some interest there. But we have seen the Prime Minister of Grenada like trying to form relationships, especially in Africa. I believe right now Grenada is leading in terms of the Caribbean, going to Africa to form relationship, to build relationship, especially since this Trump administration and every country in the world right now, they're trying to form new relationships outside of America. So we have seen the Prime Minister in recent times making a lot of trip to the continent. So this is what the Prime Minister, Dickon Mitchell, had to say about his numerous amount of travel across the world, especially to Africa.
Prime Minister the Honourable Dickon Mitchell is dispelling concerns regarding the frequency of his international travel. These concerns have most recently been articulated by labour market statistician Dr. Justin Pear. While acknowledging that the Prime Minister is one of the most internationally active leaders in the Caribbean, Pear says there are serious economic and administrative consequences. Pear estimates that the Prime Minister has travelled 51 times since taking office. He also estimates that travel for the Prime Minister and his delegation has amounted to between EC $4.9 and $6.2 million. Addressing cost concerns, the Prime Minister said official travel is often funded by external entities.
It's not paid for by the government of Grenada. That's one of the policies over travel, that the travel has to be funded by the entities that are asking us to travel. Except for organizations like CARICOM or the OECS or the UN, where obviously we are part of the international global architecture that requires us to attend those events, then obviously we fund those travels. Other than that, the rest of the travel. So there's actually, in the majority of cases, no significant impact on the post.
According to the Prime Minister, the survival of small island states hinges on their global relationships, which he argued are cultivated during official visits.
And if we don't have friends, if we don't have supporters, if we don't have partners, small islands, the very existence of small islands is on the threat. From climate change, from the economic challenges that all of us face, from the cutting off of aid for many multilateral institutions, from the challenges to economic policies being pursued by larger countries, to the threat to regional and some international instances, international peace. So we need to focus on the issues that matter to our people and make sure people understand that and make sure that our survival depends on as many friends and as many partners as possible, always being there to support us and help us come through difficult periods. So I will finally say this point. People don't invite you if they don't want you.
The Prime Minister added that travel should not be seen as a luxury, especially by the nation's youth. He hopes to inspire young Grenadians to be global citizens. The Prime Minister cited examples of support received from the international community to demonstrate the benefits of his travels.
Our own experience with Hurricane Beryl, and thankfully the majority of the damage was concentrated to the north of the island and to our sister isles. If all three islands were devastated, we would have been in a lot more trouble. The people are going to help you. The people are going to come to your assistance. The people are going to help you survive these things are the people you build relationships with, the people you interact with. It's not going to happen sitting in a small island here. That is part of the reason why you have to travel. That is part of the reason why you have to go and build relationships. On Thursday, I'll be distributing 1,000 cricket kits to our sporting clubs, to our students, throughout the length and breadth of Grenada. You can't sit in Grenada and hope somebody's going to give you that if you don't go and build the relationships.
Reporting for GBN News, I am trainee reporter Deidre Seal.
So that was the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell, clearing up some of this misconception in terms of his travel to Africa or across the world whenever he's traveling. Clearing up that, look, a lot of times, most times when they are invited to travel to different countries, the bill is not on the people of Grenada. The country that invites them pay for that bill. They foot that bill. And whenever they're doing CARICOM business or the UN business, that is when the government, that is when they pay for it. And I believe that a lot of people in the Caribbean have this misconception, almost like a colonial mindset. Whenever you talk about forming alliances in Africa, a lot of people are questioning, why would you go to Africa? Like, most of our tourists come from Europe, come from North America. The Caribbean, we thrive on tourism. Africa has nothing to offer because they can't even take care of their own people. So why would we form a relationship with them? Not knowing that Africa, the continent of Africa, is what's considered the new frontier. Africa has the youngest population of any continent. It's the only continent that is growing. In North America, in Europe, we're seeing a decline in population. Africa is the only place where the population is growing. An educated population, multiple people across different countries in Africa speak multiple languages. We all know that Africa is the breadbasket or the breadbasket of the world pretty much. And Africa, in terms of natural resources like rare minerals, gold, diamonds, we know all of that is in Africa. And with a lot of the African leaders in recent times standing up and taking back their country from their colonizers and trying to benefit from their own natural resources, I believe that this is a good move because, Grenada is a small island nation. You only need to form like 3-4 strong relationships. And if you have those relationships in Africa, I think that the people of Grenada can benefit a lot from their relationship with Africa. We saw a recent deal between the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell, and we saw in Ghana where now they have this program where nurses from Ghana will be able to come to the Caribbean to ply their trade in Grenada. And I believe that that is a good thing. So I don't know, but there are people that just don't think that the Caribbean, that we need to be forming this relationship with our brothers and sisters in Africa. But I think that the Prime Minister is making a big move. And it's just sad that more governments across the Caribbean, they are not looking to form more relationships with Africa. So guys, sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think about these two topics, about the Prime Minister traveling especially to Africa, forming these relationships. And do you think that there's a deadline that the Prime Minister have to come out and let the people of Grenada know, update them on this radar system? Let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.